Hey YouTube, I'm back. This is Calvin, and today we're going to be showing you what we're sending over to PSA to get graded. We'll do some predictions through the process. We'll see how accurate we are when everything comes back, and hopefully we get all 10s. All right, let's do this. Okay, so some of the first ones that we're going to be sending off are more of the Shining Ho-Ohs. If you saw the first video, I have one of these in the PSA 10. I'd like to get about 2 more. The centering on this one looked really good, pretty clean corners. So I think this one actually has a good shot out of 10. I have about, I have about 3 more of these. So we'll be sending all 3 of these over together and see what kind of grades we get. So this one, centering looks pretty good as well. A little bit of whitening on the corners, so this one might get a 9, but I don't think it's significant enough to deter it from a 10. But sometimes PSA can be a little finicky, if you will. Now this one, the centering isn't as good, slightly thicker on the right side. Back looks pretty good, no whitening on the edges. So this one, we might get a 9, but if they're being generous, we can pull off the 10. And then lastly, centering looks really good on this one too. So I probably bought about 15 to 20 of these, and I had to go through all of them, and I picked out the best ones. So these look really strong. So pretty strong chance. I would probably predict 2 9s, 2 10s there. Next up, not Pokemon related, but a card I really enjoyed. This was the Red Eyes Black Dragon, gold bordered. I believe this was from the Road to El Dorado. That set is like a specialty set with Yu-Gi-Oh! I really enjoyed it. So corners looked good, centering looked good. I think that one had a strong shot at a 10. On this one, centering is a little off on the right side, but corners looked fine. Back looked good. So that one might get the 9, but if they would be super kind to us, we can pull off the 10 there. But my prediction is 1 9, 1 10. Next up, these came from the Celebrations Zacian box. These cards are pretty hard to grade in a 10. They got a little dinged up in the boxes. So I am hoping we can get a 10 out of one of these, but I'm not gonna hold my breath. So I'm gonna be sending off 4 of those. Really beautiful card. So I hope we can pull off the 10. This one looks good. I didn't see any. Centering looked good on all of these. The only thing that holds these back is the centering. I mean the whitening on the back corners, and that'll be the biggest obstacle we have to overcome with these. But overall, these look good. And last one, again, I probably bought about 10 of these as well. Went through the best ones that I could see, centering wise, corner wise, whitening wise. And so I think these have the strongest shot. I'm probably going to predict 3 9s and maybe 1 10 on those. Okay, this is a chunky boy from Vivid Voltage. I actually pulled this one myself. Centering looked good. There was a weird little spot where it was missing like a speck of foil on the bottom corner here somewhere. I don't know if it'll show up. So I thought that was odd, but I don't know if PSA would ding me for that. Okay, next up we have some promos. So we have the Pikachu promo. I'm going to be sending off 4 of these. These cards aren't super valuable to grade, but I really enjoyed it. I thought the artwork looked really good, And so I actually wanted to grade a few and get them in a 10. So I'm going to be sending off 4 of these. All 4 of these looked really strong. Corners looked good, back looked good, no whitening. Centering was pretty good. So I think all 4 of these have shots at a 10. So I think all 4 of these have a shot at a 10, but we will see. PSA can be pretty fickle sometimes. Last one for those. Again, centering looked good, corners looked good, no whitening. Now next up we have my favorite card, the stained glass birds. I'm going to be sending over, I believe, 4 or 5 of these. I have a confession. I probably have about 25 of these steel sealed raw in the package from the ETBs. But I probably only want to grade to where I can get about 5 to 10 in a PSA 10. But these are fantastic cards, so I think Pokemon really knocked it out of the park with these, and I am going to try to make sure I have about 10 of these in my collection. So centering looked great on these, corner looked great. These actually grade pretty well. So, but sometimes they can be a little finicky if the card is tilted. So I want to predict probably 3 10s, 1 9. That might be a little too generous, but we'll see. And this is the last one. This one has something weird. The crimping actually was on the card. I don't know how they're going to grade that. So that'll be interesting to see. It's not a defect on the card itself. It's just a defect in how they packaged it. I guess it is on the card, but you know, I don't know if they'll ding that on the card. They may not grade it at all, so we'll see. Next, we have the Solgaleo. I only had 1 of these in a 10 right now. I wanted to get a couple more, so I'm going to be sending off a few more. This was the best one I could find in my collection right now. I think I probably bought about 5 or 6 of those raw. And next up we have the shinies. So couldn't send in the glass stained birds without the actual full arts too. So Ho-Oh, I already have this one in my collection, but I only had 1. I think I sold the others, so I'll be glad to get an extra copy there. Articuno, centering looked great, and the back looked fantastic. So I think those have really strong shots at a 10. I have 2 of these. This was an interesting card. The Ultra Beasts I don't think were very popular in the Sun and Moon era, but I'm gonna still try to finish getting a master set from the Hidden Fates, and I needed this to finish that master set for the PSA 10. So I have 2 of those just to increase our odds. Both of those look pretty clean though, so I think we have a strong shot. We have Lycanroc. I think I already have this one in the 10. I have to double check my collection, but 1 more wouldn't hurt. And also, if it comes back as a 10, we have some trade bait. So I love trading, and you know, you can combine cards and upgrading your collection that way. So if you already have extras or duplicates, that's a great way to fill out your collection with other things. Glaceon, I think the front had slightly more on the border there, but I don't think it's enough to hold it back from a 10, unless they just want to be super fickle. Ninetales, this one actually looked pretty spectacular. So I think this one should have a really strong shot at a 10. Some of these would probably be like BGS pristine, black label 10s, but we're good with the PSA 10s. And Decidueye, so pretty strong there. Centering looked good. Corners and edges looked good. Guzzlord, same thing. Centering looks good. I've already kind of vetted these cards, if you will. So I've looked at the majority of them already before I even sleeve these up. So I kind of do a pre-check before I even sleeve these, if you will. I already have this one in a tin, but I wasn't sure if this was going to get a 10. I think the centering was a little tilted. By tilted, so the actual picture, it may not be perfectly aligned to the card, and so only on Hidden Fates have I really seen that, and so that might hold it back. So I wasn't sure if this would get a 10 or not. I think this one might get a 9. But I already bought it in the 10, so that's okay. Next up, we have the birds. The Moltres Zapdos Articuno Rainbow. I don't have this one in a 10 yet, so I actually needed to get this in a 10. So I would love for this one to come back in a 10. It looked really clean, and I can add that to the collection. And lastly, this one we do already have in a 10, but warmer wouldn't hurt. Always could use more trade bait. And again, those look really clean. Okay guys, so that's what we're grading for right now. That's part 1. I'll do 2 more parts of these and then we'll wait to get them all back. So I'll do the next part probably in a couple days, and that'll come out, and then we'll go over the grades with those, and we'll see what we think the grades will be, and then we'll compare when we actually get the cards back from PSA. All right, thanks for watching. If you enjoy the content, please like, comment, subscribe. Let's help grow the channel. That way we can get it out to more people. Thank you guys. Bye-bye.